The market pushes higher before starting to pull back. Is it time for a drop? This is Invest with Jacob. Okay, guys, so in yesterday's video, we talked about the fact that a wave 5 could target the 4540 area, and we actually hit the number exactly on the target, and then the market started to pull back. So now the question is, how big of a pullback will we see? I'll get into that in just one second. But first, if you're new here, welcome to the show, guys. My name is Jacob Gabbard, and this is Invest with Jacob, where we use Elliott Wave Theory to break down the SP 500 and the NASDAQ. I highly encourage you to hit that subscribe button down below so that you could get our daily S&P updates, our trade setups, and our buy alerts. All right, guys, with the market pushing higher and hitting that target and starting to pull back, we do need to break key support. So let's jump into the chart and take a look. Okay, guys, so here we are on the 1-hour futures chart for the S&P 500. And yesterday I talked about the fact that a wave 5 generally targets the 0.5 to 0.618 extension of waves 1 through 4. We were over the 0.5 already at 4506. And so the next target was 4541.25, and the market topped today at exactly 4541.25. So we hit the number on the dot, and then they started to pull back here. Now, the pullback does not look impulsive at this time. That doesn't mean it can't morph into a diagonal or other things can't happen, but at this time, at this small of a structure, at this small of a pullback, it does not look impulsive. So overall, what needs to happen for this to continue is the first place they have to break is 4,500. 4,500 is this little support area right here. And it's basically the wave 4 low as it stands. If we're going to count this as 4 and 5 of wave 5, so wave 5 is up here, and this is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of that wave. If we're going to count this as waves 4 and 5, they need to come back and break the wave 4 low, which is essentially 4,500. If they break that low, they should be able to accelerate because there's just no support down through this structure. They should be able to accelerate and continue on. The next key level would then be 4470, and that would be a more appropriate wave 4. But in these strong bull moves, you don't always get a full depth wave 4. But we could see 4470 to 4448 as the next key area. That must hold if we're going to have a wave 4, and then they can come back up a little bit higher than this, but not much, in a wave 5, and that would be an area we would look for at the top. But since they hit the 618 already, I would look for a bit of a bigger pullback if that's what's going to happen. If they break 4,500, I do think they can accelerate a little bit here and bring us down. And then what we would look for is a bigger pullback where we would look for an A wave down to test this 4380, 4350 area, a bounce, and then B, and then a C wave down into the 4330 to 4282 area. They can come as low as 4221. I don't think we'll see that number. But we would look for a B wave down into this area, 4330 to 4282, and that would be the B wave of that ending diagonal for wave 5. Remember, everything's going to be an ABC, the B wave of A. So off of the low, we would count this up as A of A, B of A, C of A to complete wave A, and then you'd get a B and C like that. So that's what we're looking at if the pullback can break 4,500. That's the first step. If they can't break 4,500, pressure still remains up, and they can push this higher. Doesn't mean they will, but that's what the basically where we're at on the chart. The support is 4,500. They must break that. If they cannot, then the buyers will still feel comfortable pushing this higher, and the next target then would be 45.85, and that really needs to hold. Otherwise, we will likely see 4650 or above in a pretty direct manner. So overall, that's what we'd be looking at for the ES. They got to break 4,500. If they do, 4470 to 4450 would be next. If they can get through that, then we'd be looking at them to come down into this 4350 area to test this low, give us the A wave down, B and C, and then that should target the 4,300, 4,330 area. Over on the NASDAQ, okay, so on the NASDAQ, they poked just above the 618 at 16,023 that we talked about yesterday at 16,052, so just about hit the target on the number, but was a little bit high, but that's okay. Started to pull back, and NASDAQ's much closer to breaking some key support. So they are right at this line here at 15,825. They need to get through that with some momentum, and if they get through that with some momentum, we really should see them start to sell down this structure. There's just nothing here for them to catch. But they do have the 382 and 50% if we're going to get what we would look at as a 4-5, where this move up is 3, you get 4 and then 5 like that. We would look for them in that case to hold 15,773 to 15,687. If they can hold that area, that would be a valid wave 4 area. We'd look for them to hold and then push higher up toward the 16,194 area. Now, if they can break through 15,687, that would tell us that we're much more likely in the wave B. I'm sorry, the wave 2 to the downside, wave 2 to the downside, where we would look for them to pull back to the 15,321 area, testing this low 15,321 to 15,200 area, then get a B wave bounce, and then get a C wave down into the 15,096 to 14,870 area. And then we look for the next rally from that point. And that rally should take place in a 5-wave structure for wave 1 of 3, take us back to this high, then give us a 2 of 3, and then the ultimate breakout to new highs after that. So NASDAQ's numbers, they need to hold 15,773 to 15,687 if it's going to be a wave 4. If they break through that, we would look for them to target the 15,300 area down at this wave 4 low. And ultimately, we would look for them to target 15,096 to 14,870 for this wave 2. And then we'd look for a move higher after that. With it not looking impulsive as of yet on the ES, I do think that we are in a much more bullish count where the all-time highs are more likely to play out than the breakdown. But again, patterns can morph. They can become diagonals, a leading diagonal off the top, things like that. So we do need more time, as this is, you know, on the NASDAQ, a couple, maybe 100 or so points. On the ES, it was like 30 points of a pullback. So not much of a pullback to really give us enough detail and enough of what we need to see. We need to see a full 5 waves like this on ES. This is NASDAQ, I get that. But on ES, we need to see this. And on NASDAQ, we need to see them pull back in a bigger A wave, which would follow the ES. So overall, we have our key support levels to watch. If those break, then we can be in the bigger wave 2, where we come down and target this area and then look for the 1 of 3, 2 of 3, and breakout. Guys, if you love the information that I put out in these videos and you want real-time market updates from me, you need to check out investwithjacob.com. There's a link down in the description. Go ahead and click that link. It'll take you right over to the webpage. Once you're there, check out our membership plans area. We have 2 incredible monthly plans that both come with a 7-day free trial, because I want you to get in there. I want you to make sure you love it, become part of the trading team and the community before you ever spend a penny. You can cancel at any time. We also have our Elliott Wave for Beginners online course. In here, you're seeing real traders make real money and understand the market in a way that makes sense for the very first time. It's very confusing when you see the news cycles where good news makes the market go down and bad news makes the market go up. And people are saying, I guess good news is bad news and vice versa. That doesn't make any sense. It's irrational and it's not tradable. What is tradable is knowing the key levels, when they break, what happens, and how to trade them. And that's exactly what Elliott Wave gives you. It gives you a chance to finally make sense out of a market that doesn't. In this course, we have 25 videos in 3 sections. The first section, the introduction, we go over your mindset, the Elliott Wave expectations, the KISS method, why it works. We go over the chart setup and tools, all the tools you need to use with Elliott Wave Theory to see the tops and bottoms, the turns, make sure you're getting confirmations on your counts. Understanding how to use these tools is vital in understanding Elliott Wave Theory. And then our Elliott Wave for Beginners area, where I go through each wave, how they work, what their confirmation points are, what their failure points are, what they look like when they fail, everything you need to know to understand the market. We also go over the corrective depth theory, the theory of alternation, the pivot, impulsive moves, everything you need to know, and then you can see the market in a way that makes sense. The really cool thing, guys, is if you don't want to pay the $67, I completely understand. You can get it for free if you become a monthly member. So in either monthly room, if you join, you get the Elliott Wave for Beginners course for free. In our first room, the Invest with Jacob room, you get all of my real-time market updates, all of my buy and sell alerts, all of your Elliott Wave questions answered, a midday video where I go over exactly where we are in the counts, as well as the Elliott Wave for Beginners course. We trade the SPY and the QQQ, and we swing trade and day trade, which means we trade quite often in my room. But if you are looking for futures trading, individual stock, and advanced training methods, you need to check out PT's Throne Room. In there, you get everything you get in the Invest with Jacob room, as well as individual stocks, futures trading, and PT's reduced risk binary method that just crushes the market. He gets you in at a cheap price and gets you big multiples on your money, and it's how he structures the trades. It's so unique. Something you really have to see to understand, and that's another reason we give you that 7-day free trial. He also started a challenge account where he put $4,000 into an account, trading mini ES futures, showing you how to build a small account into a large retirement or savings account. Guys, we would love to have you in these rooms so we can all make money together. All right, the key takeaways for today. We have our support levels. 4,500 needs to break first. If we can get through that, then we're looking at the 4,450 to 70 area. If they get through that, then it's no longer going to be a wave 4. It's much more likely going to pull back in the bigger B wave, which should target the 4,300 to 4,330 area. Over on the NASDAQ, if we're going to pull back, they need to break that low right here at 15,822 or so, 820, right around here, that low right here that you can see on the chart. If they break that low, we should accelerate to the downside. Then they have to break through 15,773 to 15,687. If they get through that, then it's much more likely we're in this wave 2, down toward the 15,096 to 14,870 area. Guys, that is your market update for today. I will talk to you tomorrow.